Hello, my name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach and mindfulness and meditation practitioner. This is maybe the 5th or 6th video in my Lucid Dreaming Challenge series. In this video, I am going to be talking to you about how I successfully cultivated the first lucid dream in this challenge. Happened last night, so I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you can dive deeper into your practice along the way. But before we get started with that, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notifications on all future videos. So if you've been following my series along, perhaps you've been following out of order. If you have, then go back and just watch it from beginning, to the end or till whatever point you get. Because it's going to make more sense there. I am actually asking you all to follow along with me on my journey using lucid dreaming to manifest a new life for myself. Along the way, of course, I'm giving you some tips, some tools and techniques that you can use in order to begin your own lucid dreaming journey or to just dive deeper into your journey. So as I said in the first video, I am setting this challenge up for myself as a series of lucid dreams. Don't know what one lucid dream is until I complete the first one, then I'll know what the next one is. I'll envision it. So I had, a little bit of a rocky start solidifying what exactly my first lucid dreaming goal was going to be to go along with my intentions. I made another video about that. So if you haven't checked that one out, go ahead and check that one. Find that one and check it out. But I actually accomplished the first lucid dream last night. And remember, I told you that I was going to go into the dream state, become lucid, and I was going to walk through a portal. And when I walked through the portal, I was going to give myself some affirmations. Sometimes we call this a sankalpa. And then I would advance into my new life, and I would wake up into that new life, into this new manifestation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin reading from my dream journal to start this off. I said I was going to read from my dream journal throughout this entire series so you can get a feel for my dreams, how detailed they are. Everybody's dreams, of course, are going to be different, but it will allow you insight into your own dreams. Perhaps if you haven't begun to cultivate a high level of dream recall, it will give you some inspiration on the amount of detail that you can expect and the length. Of course, once again, everybody's dreams are going to be different, but one of the foundations of lucid dreaming is to have great dream recall. If you don't have great dream recall, then it doesn't even matter. You can have a lucid dream and you would never remember. So if you haven't started that, one tip that I would highly suggest is just getting a dream journal, just like the one that I have here. I have tons of dream journals. I'm pretty sure lots of dream yogis and lucid dreaming practitioners will tell you the same thing. Keep a dream journal. So I'm going to be reading from my dream journal. I'm going to give commentary about the dream along the way. And then after I finish reading from the dream, I have some tips for you about how you can accomplish a challenging lucid dream challenge, a challenging lucid dreaming goal, or just how to continue working with your dreams if you've gotten to this point, okay? So let me read to you a little bit from my dream journal. Okay, so today is August 8th, 2021. So this dream was on the night of August 7th, 2021, and I simply called it The Portal. In my dream journal, I always give my dreams a title. Well, I try to give my dreams a title. I told you all that I'm going to be real, very real with you, very honest with you along the way of my journey so you can see my challenges, my obstacles. Many times we learn a lot of these techniques in books or even off videos, and people present this in the way as if you're going to be practicing perfectly. Of course, you should always aim to give your best effort, but I want to show you that I'm not perfect, and I doubt anybody else out here who's practicing dream yoga or lucid dreaming is perfect either. So, be kind with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Sometimes I don't put a title. I have plenty of untitled dreams. So I would typically write the title, then I'll write the emotion, the emotion that came up, or the predominant emotion from the dream. In lucid dreams, I'll just write lucid. Okay, so the title is The Portal. The emotion that I put was lucid. This is a long dream, but I am gonna read it all. I mean, we're here. It's gonna be an interesting journey. Why not? Okay. I am at a woman's home. She is teaching 3 young people to lucid dream. We all sleep in her living room. She gives us a lesson, then we all sleep to do our assignment. Interestingly enough, I found a YouTube channel. I think her name is Lama Lena. And I was watching her YouTube videos this night, and the dream figure really reminded me of her. So I would venture to say, you know, it's either a representation of her, you never know. And in Lama Lena's YouTube videos on dream yoga, she does say that she will teach you lessons about lucid dreaming in the actual dream. There's a lot of lessons about lucid dreaming that she can't teach you in the waking state. So I do think that that is an interesting correlation, that this figure who reminded me of her, who reminds me of her, showed up in my dream, also teaching me about lucid dreaming. And it happened, you know, on the night that I watched her video, that she said in the video that she would do that. Interesting. The first lesson, we are to enter the lucid dream similar to a wild. I relax deeper and deeper. I feel a physical shift. This causes me to wake up. We all sit up in our beds and talk about our experiences. I was the only one who got close. The woman then serves us all dinner. We have a bucket of fried chicken each. I continue to talk about my experiences as I eat. First, I eat the chicken leg, then I eat the wing. I eat it with hot sauce. The leftover piece I put into a plastic baggie, then put it in the fridge. I get back into bed. I cannot tell if I went back to sleep, but the dream shifts. I'm outside my home when I was in middle school. And I told you all, you want to keep track of your dream signs, of your common dream signs. A lot of people dream about their childhood home. I do that as well. So you can see here, once again, my middle school home is coming up in my dream. And I talked about that in a previous video as well. I want a sugar cookie, so I decide to walk to Publix. I remember they were buy one, get one. My friend, we'll call him Robert. My friend Robert, actually, I think I used this same name in another dream when I was trying to hide someone's name. It's not the same Robert. If I did, different Robert. Robert comes to my mind. I sort of daydream, then I ask him to get me some, but he jokingly tells me to walk. I see myself then actually walking up the path to get out of my current complex. I turn, then begin walking to Publix. I see a shopping center ahead. All around me are people. It's also raining, but no one seems to be bothered. I am not bothered either. I am leaning on something as if I am pushing a cart. I arrive at the corner and the shopping center is huge. I see a Kroger and a Walmart, but no Publix. I realize that I walked the wrong direction. I decide to go into the Kroger because they too have sugar cookies. I go to walk across the street. The dream shifts again. I'm in a Chinese marketplace. There are lots of people around me. I look at some text written on a window. I can clearly read it. At the time I was writing the dream on my dream journal, I don't remember what the text said, but in the dream I could read it. Once again, that's a reality check. Many people look at text to see if they can read it. Many times people find that they can't read in can't read in the dream state, or can't read in a lucid dream. Many times I can, and I talked about that as well. So once again, even for reality checks and any type of exercise that you're using for lucid dreaming, you want to tailor these exercises to you. Just because someone says one thing does not mean that that's going to be your personal experience. So I would always venture towards direct experience. Of course, take the person's advice and just see how it works out for you, okay? So I typically know that I can read in a dream or read in a lucid dream, so you'll see what I do, because once again, I know me and I know my body, I know my mind. Something tells me to look away, then back. I do so, then the text changes, but I can still read it. I know I'm dreaming. So this is what I mean. I know for me, if I can read in a lucid dream, I'll look away, look back at the text to see if it has changed. that typically signals to me that I'm dreaming. And that's exactly what happened here. So at this point, I become lucid. I'm so excited, I walk out of the area and go further in the direction of being back outside. I tell myself to use expectancy to generate the cookie. Twice I say, oh yeah, there's a sugar cookie in my back pocket. Nothing happens. So let me give you a tip here. If you become lucid in the dream state, a lot of times, you'll hear a lot of practitioners tell you your expectation is everything. And it is so true. Many times, and I told you about this before, I will use a door to try to get from one dream to another dream, or from one area to another area. If I want to change the dream, I'll go up to the door and I'll say something like, oh yeah, this place is behind this door, and I'll expect it to be there. Now, if you watch my other video, that doesn't always work out well for me. Many times I'll open up the door and I'll end up like in the same place or in a bathroom. And I told you, I hate bathrooms. So here I tell myself, oh yeah, there's a sugar cookie in my back pocket, and I'm reaching in my back pocket to see if there's a sugar cookie there. But both times nothing happens. I don't find my cookie, okay? So finally I give one more effort, and I give it really some enthusiasm. I really put a little sauce, some seasoning on that thing, and I give some effort and enthusiasm, and I say the same thing. Oh yeah, there's a sugar cookie in my back pocket. I reach into my back pocket and I'll pull out a small sugar cookie with red sprinkles, the translucent kind. So I think here the difference is expecting, saying you're expecting, but then when I reach into my pocket, I'm kind of looking for a sugar cookie to be there. So at that point, I'm not really confident that it's there because I'm searching for it. Versus when I decide to give a little bit more effort and enthusiasm, I expect it to be there. And when I reach into my pocket, I reach in with the perspective, not that I'm looking for it, but more like I know it's there and I'm pulling this cookie out because it's there, not I'm looking for it. So your mindset and your perspective really matters in the lucid dream as well, because if, say, for example, you go into the dream state and you say, I'm looking for this or I'm looking for that, that's what the dream will show you. That you'll be continuing to search for or to look for something in the lucid dream state. Versus if you are finding something, then you will find it. So your words, your perspective, your perception, your expectation really matters. It can be a fine line, it can be a blurry line, but those things do matter. So I find the sugar cookie, then I eat it. It's so soft and sweet. I continue walking. It looks like I'm walking out of a park. There's a big gate ahead, and I remember my dream goal. I rub my hands together and I say, I walk through this portal into my new life, and I wake up on the other side. I say this to myself 3 times. And I'm going to give you some tips on this later on, but just to give you a preview, I do think that for your dream goals, you need to plan them out ahead of time. Sometimes if I'm going to remember to say something, I'll do this type of rhyme thing. I feel like it really helps to solidify what it is that you want, and it helps actually to remember it. So I say this to myself 3 times, then I'll walk under the gate. There are spider webs. I don't really care. Once I'm on the other side, I continue rubbing my hands together and I say, thank you for my new life. I remember when I used to work a 9 to 5. I remember, but now I work for myself. My company, the Hire Group, grosses over $1 million a year. I have lots of clients, I'm serving my purpose, and I'm making money doing so. I walk and I see a man who looks like Nick Cannon in a blonde wig dressed as a reporter. I ignore him, continue walking down the street. I notice it's either early in the evening or soon to be morning. It's dark like the night, but it's not deep into the night. I continue my sankalpa. This allows me more freedom and time to dive deeper into my spiritual practices. I am lucid in the day and I am lucid in the night. I wake up as I finish my sankalpa. So here you can see how my entire dream played out. You can see from, once again, if you watched the previous videos, how I had to adjust for the journey, adjust for my habits, adjust for my mindset along the way. This was not my original dream goal to accomplish this first intention. So I would tell you the same thing. If you are planning on doing something in the lucid dream and you want it to be, very successful, it's something that's very important to you, then you might want to include some of the following tips, including, once again, knowing yourself, knowing your mind, knowing your perception, okay? So this was my success in the first step of my lucid dreaming challenge. Don't know how many videos I made, probably 5 or 6 to get to this point. But now, since I've accomplished this, I'm going to think of another dream goal and my next dream intention to move me forward in this process, okay? So let's go ahead and go to the next section of the video, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can be successful when creating a challenging lucid dream goal to accomplish some intent that you have. So let me give you those tips. Okay, so I have some notes here, of course, so don't mind me, but let me give you some tips that you can use in order to be successful in one of your challenging lucid dreaming goals, okay? So, my tip number 1 that I have for you is to plan your dream in advance, okay? Do not leave this up to chance. You want to plan it in advance. So you want to plan what you're going to do. If it's something that you need to say or some sort of affirmation or sankalpa, I would highly advise that you plan that out as well. So remember, the beginning of mine was I walk through this portal into my new life and I wake up on the other side. So I kind of did this rhyming type thing to go with it. Once again, that makes it easy for you to remember. It sticks in your mind, and when you become lucid in the dream state, even though you're lucid, sometimes we can still be a little, stupid. Okay. So I would say plan it out in advance. If it's something that you need to say, write it down. Even many times I had to shift my sankalpa. I had to come up with something different. It wasn't memorable or it wasn't exciting to me to say. Okay, so plan what you want to do, plan what you want to say in advance. Don't leave it up to chance. My tip number 2 for you is to practice what you're going to do in the waking state. So you have your reality checks that you will do every time you encounter one of your dream signs. So in one of my previous videos, I talked to you about if you are, resetting those dream signs and those reality checks one after another, or if you're deciding like at the beginning of the day or the beginning of the week or whatever your time period is, what your dream signs are going to be throughout this, throughout the duration of however long you set. So if you do a reality check and it comes that you are in the waking state, the daytime waking state, let's call it that, you want to act as if you were dreaming. Like, okay, if this were a dream, what would I do? And you want to go through the motions. You want to give your effort. You want to give your intention. Remember what I told you about expectation, about giving your enthusiasm? You want to do the exact same thing in the waking state. So you want to go through the motions, say what you would say, do what you would do to the extent that you can. You want to do that in the daytime as if you were dreaming. Then what that's going to do is it will become habit to you. So once you do your reality check in the dream state, you realize that you're dreaming, and it will be easier for you to go ahead and do what you said that you were going to do. Okay, so my third tip that I have for you is to develop an intimate connection with your dreaming practice. It may seem a little backwards, and of course, if you are approaching your practice in this way, you do have some intention, you do have some dream goal. So you do want results, but I find that it's not helpful if you're only results oriented. This can make you become frustrated when you don't accomplish that goal, or when you don't become lucid, or if you become lucid, you forget what your goal is, or you wake up, you can be frustrated, which actually leads you to become lucid become less lucid. You won't get as lucid as much as you'd like. So what I would say to focus on is to develop an intimate connection with your practice. Allow your practice to nourish you. Allow your practice to support you. And this means practicing for the sake of practicing. There are many types of induction techniques that you can do. There are many types of daytime and nighttime and before bed practices that you can do. I would suggest that you find the practices that excite you. For whatever reason, and you want to work with those. You want to choose practices that feel good, and you want to do those practices regardless of if you become lucid or not, okay? So once again, I heard this saying that the master loves to practice, and the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. So don't become discouraged by your failures, and be a master. Be a master who loves to practice, and just develop this intimacy with your dream practice, with your activities and everything else that you're doing, okay? And the last tip that I have for you is to constantly evaluate your progress and your practices, okay? So this is another reason why you definitely want to have a dream journal. That way you can go back through your previous dreams, whether they're lucid or not. You can see what happened, what you did, what worked, what didn't work. What I would advise you to specifically be looking for here is how your mindset is, how your perspective is, and how your actions are, if that makes sense. So remember, I told you that I know that typically me trying to use a door doesn't really work very well for me. That's something that you would want to know. You know, that's something you will want to know. And even going back to setting your intention and having expectation. I didn't give up when that sugar cookie didn't manifest the first time, and I kept trying, and I put a little bit more enthusiasm on it, gave it a little bit more expectation. Once again, this is something that I know because I know from evaluating many of my lucid dreams and non-lucid dreams that I have a certain habit of reifying many things in the dream state because I do it in the waking state. I have a habit of perhaps doubting, not trusting, not going all in with my expectations. So then when I do open that door, I find that I'm in the same place or I'm not in the place where I want to be. Remember, I gave you the previous example in another video about walking through walls. If you've reified walls so much in the waking state, then yes, you can become lucid in the dream state. And in your lucidity, you know that you're dreaming, but when you try to walk through a wall, you still respond as if you are in the waking state, and this is a solid, lasting, permanent wall. And you hit your head on this, you hit your dream head on this dream wall. So what I would say is to know yourself, begin to dive deeper into understanding your mindset and how you look at things, and you can really figure that out by seeing what is working for you in the dream state, what is not working for you, and trying to suss out why exactly that is. You want to do this ultimately because you may have to do this dance, this trial and error type of thing as you go through multiple lucid dreams in order to finally achieve success in that dream goal that you want. You don't want to give up. You don't want to become frustrated. You just want to understand what's going on and be able to correct as you move forward, okay? So hopefully these tips have helped you out. Another thing that I forgot to do in these videos is let you know that I actually have a DREAMWORK and Lucid Dreaming for Personal Development course. If you would like to take a look at that, I'm going to include the link in the description box below. You'll find that it has about 12 plus hours of content, and it comes with 2 workbooks as well. So go ahead and check that out. If you found this content and the information in this video valuable, once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notifications on all future videos. And I'll see you for the next one.